What's going on, everybody? This is Big Boy 007 coming to you. Today we're going to be canning some vegetable beef stew. We're going to be doing 4 quarts. In order to make this, we was able to catch some, this is chuck roast, we actually caught on sale, roughly 2 pounds cubed. We chopped it up. But you can actually use sirloin, top round, London broil. Any of those meats will be fine. Any that you do a stew with for canning. For the vegetables, we're going to be using russet potatoes, carrots, onions, and celery. It's roughly 2 cups of each vegetable and roughly 4 cups of steak to make the 4 quarts. I will put the recipe in the bottom, in the link below, beef broth. And yeah, so that's all you need to get this done. We're going to go ahead and load the jars up, and we'll be back with you when we're ready to get ready for the canner, and we'll see you in a minute. Okay, everybody, we are back. We have our jars loaded now, and so when we load the jars doing the vegetable beef stew, we put our beef down roughly a cup per jar. We put it in first, and then we just add our vegetables on top of it. I have done it where you do vegetables like we maybe do carrots, celery, onion, or potato, whatever, but we just, and for this one, we just mixed them up. We noticed that we can't see a big difference either way. But once you put them in there, you roughly want to get it to just under this shoulder, and then you can actually take and mash them down in just a little bit. We add our beef broth up to roughly maybe a 1/4 inch underneath this ring. After that, I'll take my knife, and they actually have a little tool you can buy if you prefer, but this works for us. You just stick it down in here. You want to wiggle it back and forth, and what this does is it gets the air out of the jar. Try to be careful not to get a lot of liquid and stuff on this ring here, just because you just want to really try to keep that as clean as possible, just so you know your seal goes through. Once you get the air out, the liquid level will go down. You can mash it just a little bit, not real hard, add a little more vegetable to it, but you're just roughly getting it underneath this lip. After that, you take your vinegar. What I do is I take vinegar and I just wet a cloth and just wipe my lid real good. And what this does is if you did get any liquid on it or something, it'll just cut that grease. After that, you're ready to put your lid on. For some reason, if you get too much liquid in your jar and you say, oh man, I went a little too high, we just have a little simple syringe you can stick in there and just pull it out and pull it down to the level you want to keep it at. Then you're ready for your lid. Just take your lid, stick it on there, and when you tighten this down, you just want to tighten it down 2-finger tight. You're not torquing it down, it's 2-finger tight. After that, you're ready for the jar. Just try to keep them nice and straight and even. Stick them in your jar. And I've already turned some heat on to the canner, so the water is already pretty warm. And what I do is I put about 2 inches of water in this canner. You want the water level to come up to roughly right at that bottom ring once the canner is loaded. And so then you just stick your cap on. We're going to let this build up until where it's about 10 psi for this region. Different regions have different areas. Please refer to your canning or ball book for your region and what psi you're looking for. Anyway, we'll be back once this is up and going, and we'll see you in a few minutes. Okay guys, we are back. We got the pressure canner loaded. As you can see, it's releasing pressure. We have this set for 10 psi for this region. The gauge is just slightly above 10 psi. What we do is I leave this weight off and let it vent till it gets around 4 or 5 psi, and I keep it on high. And then once it gets to 4 or 5 psi, I'll put the weight on and then let it finish building up pressure. And then once it starts to release, as you just saw, I'll go ahead and try to set my gauge on our stove. All stoves are different, so your gauge may run higher or less than others, but ours usually runs really well at around a setting of 2.5. And what you want it to do is just getting ready to release here in just a minute. That just means you're maintaining pressure in the canner. If you don't have a weight on your canner and you just have a gauge, I highly suggest you either have it calibrated or change your gauge once a year just to make sure you're getting an accurate reading. On the All-American, and there's some other brands too, they actually have the weight's fine. As long as that weight is releasing every 2 to 3 times per minute, that's what you're looking for right there. That means it's holding pressure and it's releasing as it should. Pints are 75 minutes. Quarts, which is what we have in here now, are 90 minutes. So in 90 minutes, we're going to just cut the oven off. You do not want to remove the weight. You just want to let it come down on its own. Let the pressures come down on its own. And once that happens, then we can open it up and pull our jars out, and that's where we'll be at our next segment. Thank you. Okay guys, we are back. So it's been 90 minutes. The canner I've cut the heat off. The gauge, as you can see, has went all the way down. We've left it undisturbed, weight's still on. So once you make sure your gauge is all the way down, it's not releasing steam anymore. You can just take your weight off, set it to the side, and then you just want to take and you just unscrew all your protective bolts. And then when you open it away from you. So I don't want to open it with that steam go on my face. Just open it and let it go that way. And then you just take your lid, set it to the side. And very carefully take your jar puller. You want to get a hold of it and just come straight out with it. Just straight out, and you see it's at a rolling boil. And that's what you want to see. Just set it to the side. Very carefully. Just pull another one out. They're all rolling boil. And as you see, it's a rolling boil. I'll get the other one out in a minute. This is what you were looking for. You're just going to sit these. Don't disturb them. We're going to let these sit for at least 12 hours undisturbed. And then we're going to put them in our pantry. And these will be good for 2-3 years at least. So it's just good to have. We bought, like I said, the meat was on sale. Sometimes if you get vegetables on sale or anything like that. And it's not only about food preservation. Obviously you can buy it at a cheaper price when it's on sale, but it's also about easy meals during the week. Hey, you come home and you need something quick and easy, but also that's pretty healthy. Pull one of these out, put them in 2 containers. You can simply put them in the microwave, add whatever you want, spices, crackers to it. Makes for a good quick meal. But anyway, I hope this video helped you with learning how to do this. I'm going to be putting out more videos with more canning, more things, and even some recipes and cooking. But I really appreciate you watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.